Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Ryan Cunningham. I'm the Medic's Help Desk Manager here at the Maine Department of Education. Today, we're going to be doing a webinar going over CTE staff entry. Staff certification is due on the 15th of November. Today, I am joined by Ida Batista, who's the School Finance and Governance Coordinator, as well as Catherine Warren, who is the DOE's Data Management Systems Manager, and Drew Mitchell, who's a Help Desk Analyst here with the Medic's Help Desk. With that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Drew. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Like Ryan said, we're going to be going over CTE staff. Pretty simple. It's basically just staff, only a few key points that make them into CTE. First thing I want to go over, though, is the Help Desk webpage. As you can see here, I've got it shared. I'm sure all of you are familiar with the page. If, however, you are not, I do recommend you bookmark the page. You can get there by going to maine.gov/DOE and then hovering over data and reporting, clicking on Help Desk. You can also find the NEO dashboard link here as well, which is where staff is reported. We have our data reporting instructions page, which has all of our reporting instructions, EPS guides, which goes over EPS related documents, and then the webinar and presentations tile, which is where this webinar will be in a few days once Ryan uploads it, as well as the Q&A for it. We have webinars from previous years, as well as video presentations and trainings. Again, Help Desk webpage is a great resource, which you should definitely bookmark if you have not done so. Next up, I want to mention that if you're new to Teams or you're just not familiar with it, in the Teams window in the upper right-hand corner, there is two chat bubbles with a question mark in them. If you click on that, it'll allow you to send questions to us, which we will then answer. I will pause periodically through the webinar to go over the questions that are asked. So please feel free to ask them as you see fit. So we're going to be working in our test environment today, going over this stuff. We do have some few bullet points that Ida wanted me to cover to make sure CTE staff is getting its just due. Ida does use staff for CTE subsidy reporting, and the data is also used when reviewing CTE funding formulas. So this data is important. We do need it. Over to NEO here. So if you don't have an account for NEO and you need it to enter in staff, the access request form is on the Help Desk webpage right here. Superintendent will need to fill that out for you. We'll get you a NEO account. Once you have an account, you would sign in. You'll see the staff link up here in the corner or right here on the body of the page. Click on staff. It'll take you into staff. So there are two ways to manage staff. It would be staff search if you're trying to bring a new staff member into your district or CTE school, or SAU search for existing staff if you're trying to update them, which I'm sure you are aware we have the now in progress for everyone, so everyone does need to be reviewed before you can certify staff. We'll go to SAU search and we'll pull me up the Department of Education so that we can view a staff record. We also have some reports that can be used to verify the CTE information. Staff detail report by courses. If you load that up, which I already have open here, you can see we have years of experience and CTE professional years of experience. If these are CTE teachers, they should have information here. So if this is blank, then you would want to go into their staff assignments and update that. And you can do that by going to SAU search, find the staff member, hold them up, and then it would say in progress or active. You would just do actions edit, and it will allow you to enter that information. As I'm not in here yet as a CTE teacher, you wouldn't be able to do that, but we're going to go ahead and enter me in as one so we can see all the fields. So while we're doing this, there is a few places that are approved satellite CTE programs. An example of that would be Mount Desert CSD. They have approved one approved CTE program that they can teach at the high school level. So those satellite programs, those CTE teachers would need to be put in at the high school with the CTE program they're teaching. Years of experience would be any experience they have as a classroom teacher, whether it's current or previous. And then you're going to want to make sure you're entering W-2 employee or contractor. If you do contractor, because they're contracted, it's not going to ask you for salary information. But in terms of satellite programs, you can see here, we can choose career and technical education. If you were, for example, at Lewiston or Augusta, and you tried to do this at any other school other than the technical center, it would give you an error telling you that there is no approved CTE programs. But as Mount Desert High School is an approved satellite program for transportation, distribution, and logistics, 47.0616, it can be selected. So that is where you would put them in. So again, satellite programs need to be done at the high school level. Everyone else would be going in at the career and technical school level. So if we were to choose, for example, Augusta, we have the Capital Area Technical Center. So if we went to Coney and did CTE, this is the error you would see because they need to be put in at the technical center. All right, so one big thing here that we want to go over is years of experience versus years of professional experience. Years of experience in the position would be whatever experience they have in a, for example, classroom teacher. So if they have 10 years of classroom teaching experience, that is where you would put in there. Years of experience prior to teaching in this field, professional experience, excuse me, would be based on whatever they are. Let's see here, there's a little bubble. Whatever they have for professional experience. So if they were a mechanic for 10 years, that's what you would put in that field. However, you do want to make sure you're putting in this accurately. If you have, a 40-year-old teacher with 30 years of professional experience as, say, a welder, we're going to see that as an issue and you're going to hear from us because that means that they've been welding since they were 10, which really doesn't make any sense. So we have validations that go around this data. So we would reach out to you at that point and ask you to verify and or correct. Other than that, other than putting them in at the CTE level and making sure you're choosing the correct education level for satellite programs and putting in the professional years of experience, you just want to make sure the salary and stipend amounts are accurate. Salary stipend flag is correct. That would be, up here. You want to make sure their FTE amounts is accurate because again, this is all used for CTE funding formula and subsidy reporting, so that information all needs to be accurate, just like a normal staff member. Our subject matter, the grades in which it's being taught. Here's your salary stipend flag. Salary being, based off of a 40-hour work week, or their stipend being based on whatever stipend amount you're paying them to teach this class. And then it's going to ask you here, and then again, you have these question marks next to these fields where it would help you with a little tooltip. So just select the blank spot here. And then the FTE for the position, FTE would be based on a 40-hour work week. So if they were doing it for 20 hours out of a 40-hour work week, it would be a 0.5, or just varying 40 out of 40 hours is going to be 1.0. If they're teaching multiple courses, they're going to split the FTE across those. Obviously, they can't be teaching 2 subject matters 100% of the time. So the FTE would be split 50-50 or whatever, 60-40, 70-30, depending on how they're actually teaching that. And then you have, is federal funding a source for this position? Yes or no. If it's yes, you're going to pick which one. No, it just goes away. And then your educational category would be CTE. And then your contact information. Contact information is going to be the staff members' work contact information, not their personal information. It's not going to be the contact information for whoever is entering in the staff data. This is for the staff member specifically. So whereas it would be me, it would be my contact information for work. So drew.mitchell@maine.gov, my contact phone number for when I'm working. I don't know about anyone out there, but I know I wouldn't want my personal cell phone in here and then get a call at 2 a.m. for whatever reason. Someone wanted to know some ridiculous information about a CTE program at 2 a.m. for whatever reason. Just as an example, you're going to want to make sure this is, again, contact information for the staff member for while they are working. Lisa says, I have no volume. I haven't been hearing any other complaints about that, so I'm not sure if that's just on your end or not. If anyone else is having volume issues, please let me know. I will re-go over whatever needs to be gone over. Question, should CTE director be able to provide me with this information? Yes. I would think that they would be able to, yes. Again, all this information can also be verified through the staff reports. Staff detailed report by courses is a good one to go into. You have a floppy disk icon right here. If you click that, you can export it into any of these file formats. Excel's a good one because then you can filter and sort, and you could pull anyone who has, anyone who should be a CTE teacher, and by education level, you could filter on that and then filter on blanks to see who needs to be updated. Because if they are CTE, they should definitely have CTE professional years of experience. So if they're CTE in education level, CTE professional years of experience is blank, that needs to be updated. Okay, perfect. So again, yeah, CTE staff isn't much different than regular staff, other than the fact that if they're a satellite program, you want to make sure you're putting them in as a career and technical education level versus academic. Because if they're in as academic, you're not going to be able to pick the correct subject matter. CTE schools themselves, like Capital Area Technical Center, automatically default to the career technical education. You don't have to worry about that. But you really want to make sure key focus, years of experience in the position versus years of professional experience. Those are different. But you want to make sure you're putting in that data accurately. Ryan or Ida, if I've missed anything or you want me to go over anything again, please let me know.
No, that sounded good. So it won't default anything if you say clicked special ed, even though you were clearly had a career technical school?
I actually think it would let us for the educational category, but I do believe we have validations around this that we run in our staff folders. So if we saw that they were education level career technical, but the education category was special education or something like that, we would see that and then reach out to them.
Okay, so it's user validation dependent. There's no automation that will catch that first.
Right.
Correct. Okay.
I'm not sure. Can they? Yeah, I mean, it lets them select it. It would probably let me save it too. So yeah.
I did, just to be clear, it's not the users that have to validate it. We're doing those validations at Help Desk.
No, I understand that, but I guess what I'm saying is that if they should happen to click somewhere incorrectly here, just say like they click gifted and talented, it would still go in. So
Right.
I was just sort of using another tack to illustrate Drew's appropriate selection.
Yep.
I mean, might I, if they should not be able to select all of these, if CTE is the only thing that should be able to be selected in here, I can definitely put that in to have logic put in there so that it would just block them completely.
It would have to be logic by school, Drew, so we should talk through that to make sure we clearly know what the rules are.
Okay. Yeah, we can address that. So like I said, pretty straightforward stuff. Not much different than regular staff. I've gone over everything that I think I need to go over. We'll stick around for a few minutes for any questions that come through. If anyone wants me to go over anything again, I'm happy to do so. If the webinar ends and you think of a question or comment, email or call the help desk, and we'll make sure it gets into the Q&A that Ryan publishes on the website. Someone asked, did the staff data deadline get extended? Yes, we pushed it to 11/15 to align with EFS 05 Part 2 reporting. That being because you cannot certify your staff until your EFS 05 Part 2 has been certified. So it didn't make sense that regular staff was due before the EFS 05 Part 2 was due. So they're both due on 11/15.
Just to clarify for people who don't know, the EFS 05 Part 2 is a count of special services educators. I just don't want to have people confused and think they need to know what that is for this purpose.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Drew, we're not getting any more questions. We have people dropping off. If you could close it out by showing them where they can go to get the recorded webinar along with the adjacent Q&A document.
Yep. Go over that again real quick here. So on the Help Desk webpage, underneath webinar and presentations, this is where this will be saved. It'll be under 2020, 21-22 webinars. We do have our previous year webinar for this here as well. So if you wanted to review that, you could. However, staff reporting has changed since last year. So just keep that in mind if you review last year's webinar. So yeah, that's it. I hope everyone has a great day.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.